Oh boy, we got a bona fide classic right here. LEGO Star Wars is equal parts cute, fun, replayable, and addicting. My brother and I have played through this every year for the past several years now. It's absolutely a hit of nostalgia, sure, but going after all those damn collectibles is just so much fun. There's mini-kits, characters, studs, cheap bricks, golden bricks to collect. Most of these levels are fun little contained adventures. Let's just get into this. LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga is actually a compilation game. It takes the levels and characters of LEGO Star Wars the video game and its sequel, LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. It was released for PS3, Xbox 360, Wii, and DS in 2007, and was later released for PC, Android, and iOS. I played the Xbox 360 version of my Xbox Series X specifically for this video, but it's very similar to the PS3, Wii, and PC versions. It's not simply the two aforementioned games mashed together in a shitty package or anything like that. It's actually a unified product, a la Heroes of Might and Magic 3 Complete. LEGO Star Wars, the video game, focuses on the prequels. Meanwhile, LEGO Star Wars 2 covers the rest of the movies up until that point. This means LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga covers the first 6 episodes, and as a result, it's a pretty damn long game with a good wealth of content. The game starts the player or players off as cute little LEGO forms of Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi. It drops them off in a hub world where only one level is available. That level is called Negotiations, and it's a great beginner's level. After completing that level, the first levels of episodes 2 through 6 open, and the player can tackle them in whatever order they please. After being the first level of an episode, then level 2 for that episode will open. Then the player can beat level 2 of that specific episode to unlock 3 in that same episode, then so on and so forth. So, what are these levels like exactly? It's kind of hard to throw a single genre at LEGO Star Wars. You can call it a collectathon, or maybe an action-adventure game, or hell, maybe even a 3D platformer. But basically, the player takes control of LEGO versions of Star Wars characters. A level can be done in story mode, free play, or challenge mode. The player has 4 hearts that can be depleted by enemy attacks. When this happens, the player will break apart and the player will lose some studs. Depending on the character that the player is, they may be able to fight back and make the enemy explode into pieces. I love that so much. It goes so well with the LEGO theme. There are ledges throughout the levels as well, and if a player falls into the abyss, they will break apart and lose all their studs. Story mode follows the story of the 6 Star Wars movies. I think this lends itself better to the Star Wars universe rather than a lot of the other licensed LEGO games because of its huge cast of characters. Like LEGO Harry Potter was cool, but damn, I got tired of being Harry, Hermione, and Ron. You play as those characters for almost every level. There is a lot of the Princess Leia Han Solo group, but they are fun to play as anyways, and there are several other groups to play as. In these levels, the game gives the player around 2 through 6 characters they can switch around as. There will also be these cute little cutscenes that play at the beginning, end, and at certain parts during the level. These are often really cute the first time, and some got a genuine chuckle out of me. That Darth Vader scene of him telling Luke that he is his father is just classic in this game. Free play overall is probably the better mode. There aren't any cutscenes, but the player gets to pick the character that they want. If player 2 is present, they can also pick the character that they want to be. The game will also throw them at least one of every character group so that they will be able to switch into them with the trigger buttons. Free play is more fun because it lets the player explore more of the level. Story mode is designed to not let the player explore the whole area. For example, in Negotiations, there is an R2-D2 code panel, and in that level, story mode doesn't supply any droid that can open that panel. In free play, the game will supply that player the droid that can open that panel, and there'll likely be a nice collectible behind the door. Simply put, free play will allow the players to collect all of the collectibles in the level, as well as explore the entire stage. Challenge mode tasks the player with finding all 10 blue mini-kits before the pretty damn strict time limit runs out. It works like free play, as in the game gives the player the necessary characters to roam the entire level if they're unlocked. Challenge mode can be a great way to get a lot of stuff early in the game. The player gets more studs for the time that's remaining, and an extra 50k for just completing it. This mode is okay, but free play is just so much more fun due to the fact that there being more collectibles in the levels. In challenge mode, only the blue mini-kits appear. Like, that's it. That is the only collectible. Also, cheap bricks are disabled in these levels, and that's just a damn shame, and some of these blue mini-kits, they are hard to find. But as I said, challenge mode is just okay to me. I prefer free play due to there being other collectibles that the player can grab. What other collectibles are there, do you ask? First one is the good old studs, and collecting these guys are very crucial to do well, anything in the game. These buy characters, hints, cheap bricks, golden bricks. There are silver, gold, blue, and purple studs that are worth 10, 100, 1000, and 10,000 respectively. Those purple ones, those are rare as hell. When collecting studs in one of the main 36 levels, a bar at the top of the screen will fill up. When this bar fills up, the player will earn True Jedi. The player can then complete the level to earn a golden brick. Then there will be a mini kit, and 10 of these guys can be found in all the main 36 levels in the game. When completed, the player will earn a ship that they can use in the bonus levels. They will also earn 50k studs and a gold brick. Speaking of gold bricks, there are 160 in total, and they are the kind of quote-unquote main collectible, a la Superstars in Super Mario 64. As the player collects more, they can use these to build some bonus levels and other structures. After that player has received 60 of them, they'll start earning 100,000 studs for every golden brick that they unlock. So to reiterate, the 36 levels make up 108 of the golden bricks because each level has 3. One is awarded for simply reaching the end of the level, then one is awarded for getting all the mini-kits in a level, and the last one's awarded for getting True Jedi in a level. The rest can be collected by completing the bonus levels, the bounty hunter levels, or buying time-based ones in the shop that can be found in the hub world. The red power bricks, or often named the cheap bricks, may be my favorite collectible. There is one of these in all 36 main levels, and when collected, an enhancement will become available to buy. The best ones are the score times. These multiply the amount that the studs are worth. The thing is, though, these stack. So the player can turn on 2 times, 4 times, 6 times, 8 times, and 10 times, which all amounts to... Jesus, 3,840 times. A blue stud becomes 3,840,000. There are some other cool ones as well, such as the mini-kit detector, invincibility, bounty hunter rockets for Jango and Boba Fett, Super Gonk that'll let the Gonk droid run around and jump, Dark Side is neat too, it allows the good Force Jedis to use the Dark Force. Stagnating is also pretty helpful because it makes the player pick up studs easier. Another great power-up is self-destruct. This gives the droids an ability to blow up and kill enemies, as well as blowing up metallic objects. It's fun to turn these all on and watch your characters just become overpowered. Now is a great time to go over the different types of characters. It can be split differently based on how one describes them, but I personally argue that there are 7 main groups that are needed to complete a level in free play. The first are the Jedis. All Jedis can double jump and yield their trusty lightsaber. They can do the Force on objects that have a sparkling aura around them. If the aura is red, the player is going to need to be a Dark Force Jedi. Dark Force Jedis can also affect good Force objects, making the hero Jedi feel kinda useless. Jedis can also use the Force on certain enemies. Some like the Sith and Count Dooku will electrocute them. Usually good Force characters such as Luke Skywalker will stun enemies, meanwhile Dark Force characters like Darth Vader will kill them. With their lightsabers, they can also deflect bullets from gunners and perform neat attacks. Up next are the aforementioned gunners. These characters have guns, of course, and they can shoot enemies and targets from far away. The targets don't show up too often, though. They can also use their guns to grapple up to spots that have a red circle underneath. Depending on the gunner, they can also dodge bullets by hitting the attack button as the bullet is incoming. Some gunners, like Chewbacca, kinda suck and can't dodge. However, above the gunners are the bounty hunters. All of these guys are gunners as well, but they are also just objectively better. In addition to having guns, bounty hunters also have thermal detonators that can be used to destroy shiny objects. They can also activate the bounty hunter panels. Boba Fett and Jango Fett can also fly, which is neat. 4-LOM and IG-88 can also activate C-3PO and R2-D2 panels. Overall, I really like the bounty hunters. They have a nice amount of abilities under the belt, and some of them are actually very unique. Up next are the crawlers, and honestly, screw them. It almost seems like the developers fought as hard as possible to make them as useless as possible. Most of them walk super slow, either have no attack at all or are just a droid zapper. The main use of these guys is their ability to go through small hatches. They'll hop on the other side where they would usually be a collectible. That is really about it for the crawlers. Then we have the droids. R2-D2 and R4 can fly across gaps like Jango and Boba Fett can, and they can hack into R2-D2 panels. C-3PO and TC-17 can hack into C-3PO panels, and that is about it. They are also slow as hell and overall so annoying. They can't jump at all either, so if the player has to lug one around during a story level, they're gonna have to do some stupid bullshit to ensure that they don't fall behind. At least they lose them limbs when they get hit, which is hilarious to me because I'm 5 years old. There are also battle droids and droidicas, which aren't necessarily needed to beat any levels, but the droidicas are super fun. The droidicas have their shields and shoot a lot of bullets quickly, as well as being lightning fast. There are a lot of different types of droids, but the only necessary ones really are the R2-D2 variants and the C-3PO variants. It should also be noted that most droids can't build Lego objects on the ground, pull levers, or hop in vehicles. That is mostly reserved for the human Lego characters. Then we have the high jumpers, of which there are only 4. Screw Jar Jar Binks and his friend. The 2 stars of the show here are General Grievous and his bodyguard. How could one not like a character that can yield 4 lightsabers at once? As the name states, the high jumpers jump jump very high, even more so than the double jumping Jedis. Grievous's bodyguard is also really fun because of his head pops off when he has one heart left. Him and the two C-3PO variants are the only characters that have cosmetic damage happen to them as they lose hearts. This is an effect that I really would have liked to see more of. Here's an interesting tidbit. High jumpers were removed from LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. So to make sure that these characters didn't break these levels, they only jump as high as Jedis. They only jump higher than Jedis in levels that are part of episodes 1 through 3. Lastly, we have the Stormtroopers, which are glorified gunners that have a panel that they can open. Some other evil characters such as Darth Vader and the Sith can open these panels as well. Stormtrooper and Bounty Hunter helmet machines can be found in some of the levels. If one is wearing this helmet, they can bypass those respective panels. This is used a lot during the story levels, especially with Han Solo, Chewbacca, and Princess Leia. There are some other unofficial groups that fans make up, like one is Flyers, which would consist of R2, R4, and both the Fets. Some consider the Ghost as their own thing, but I typically just think of them as better Jedis. There is Ghost Yoda, Ghost Obi-Wan, and Ghost Anakin. These Ghost characters are neat because they can't get hurt by enemies. They can still fall off ledges, but using these guys for a challenge level can make it way less painful. An extra called Extra Toggle can be bought too. When this is on, this game will give extra characters specific to those levels. These range from actually useful characters like the lightning fast Womp Rat or Mouse Droid to stupid shit like training remotes, skeletons, or buzz droids. On top of that, there are even more characters that one can buy, like Watto, Pit Droid, and Gonk Droid that don't really do anything, but it's just fun to mess around with them from time to time. The game has well over 100 playable characters, 21 playable ships, and 36 mini-kit ships. I like the little nuances and differences between the characters in the same group. For example, Jango and Boba Fett can both fly like R2-D2 despite being bounty hunters. 4-LOM and IG-88 can't fly, but they can both use droid panels and is considered a bounty hunter. Darth Vader can use stormtrooper panels despite being a Jedi, meanwhile Darth Maul can't. The Ewoks are the only crawlers who can actually kill enemies. Jar Jar Binks is the only high jumper who can't kill enemies. General Grievous can build despite being a droid, but he can't pull levers or control machines. Droideka is the fastest character that the player can choose freely in free play mode. Some gunners like Han Solo can jump twice. Meanwhile, Princess Leia can only jump once. These two can dodge bullets while Chewbacca, who's another gunner, simply can't, but at least he can rip off stormtrooper arms. It makes the roster a bit more deep and interesting than just looking at all the groups of characters and assuming that, yeah, they're all the same. It's fun to debate which ones are the top of each group and for what reasons. Not all of the 36 levels are done on foot. Seeing as this is Star Wars media, of course ship levels have to be included and the results are mixed, let's say. Instead of being little Lego people, the players are now little Lego ships. There's way less variety in the ships than the normal characters, and I just don't find these levels to be as fun as the other levels. Some ships can carry bombs, some can carry up to 5 torpedoes, some shoot faster, and some only, like, the TIE fighters, can access certain areas. There's some variety, sure, but I just don't think it's as much as the ground levels. The Pod Racer one is a standout for me though. I really like that one, but some like Falcon Flight have the player just sitting there waiting for torpedoes to appear. Bounty Hunter Pursuit is another one that is just so annoying. The area is so open, but there's just so much going on that can be very easy to miss collectibles. As mentioned earlier, there are 36 main levels split up into 6 episodes. I think one thing that makes this game so much fun is the fact that there's just so much more to do in the game than these. The game also has the original versions of the Pod Racer and Gunship Cavalry levels, as the original LEGO Star Wars had stripped down ship levels. It also has the A New Hope level that was featured in the original LEGO Star Wars, as it was a sneak peek at LEGO Star Wars 2. LEGO City comes back from LEGO Star Wars 2, which I actually find kind of annoying, and Newtown joins alongside it. The player's tasked to find 1 million studs. I personally don't care too much for these two because it seems like it comes to a damn 10-minute crawl at the end to find the last 1,000 studs. Anakin's flight is also in the bonus room, which is a scrapped episode for the original LEGO Star Wars. By all accounts, LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga really tried to bring in everything that the 2 original LEGO Star Wars games had, all encompassed in a neat cantina-like hub world. Part of me wishes there was a way to access Dexter's Diner though, but you can even be Indiana Jones! How is that not cool? Unless one is truly looking for something smaller, more trivial things, such as me with Dexter's Diner, LEGO Star Wars Complete Saga has everything from the first 2 LEGO Star Wars games. Another thing that the player can do are the bounty hunter missions. These were included in LEGO Star Wars 2 with 10 levels being present. Now there are 20 levels present and includes the original 10. These will give the player a gold brick and is unlocked by buying all the bounty hunters, well, that aren't named Jango Fett. These throw all of the bounty hunters in a level and they have to find a specific LEGO character. It uses the levels that were used in the main game. It's a fun little throwaway mode and some missions will literally take as long as 10 seconds. It also incorporates a disgusting asshole Jabba the Hutt in the hub world. Good stuff. At the end of each of the episodes, there are 2 bonus challenges as well as Super Story. The first bonus is a character bonus, and it drops the 2 players into a setting that relates to the episode. The goal is to get 1 million studs in 5 minutes. There is also the mini-kit bonus. Remember earlier when I said that the mini-kits build ships when 10 of them are collected in one level? Well, after building a ship, these ships can be used for these levels. The objective is the same as the character bonus levels. Get 1 million studs in 5 minutes. These are fun little distractions that can grab the player a couple of extra gold bricks. Super Story, however... Oh god, Super Story. Super Story is the definition of padding. It has the player complete the 6 levels in an episode, back to back, while having them collect 100,000 studs and taking less than an hour. The worst part is... the reward is laughable. The reward is only percentage to get closer to that sweet 100% completion. They're worth like 0.3% each. There is no way to skip the cutscenes as well, so these end up being a gigantic, boring-ass time sink. Since these are the only story portion of the levels, the players are stuck as specific characters too. It's just tedious to play these again in story mode for no real reason. My brother and I always end up beelining it to the end of the levels. Some episodes, like episode 6, can actually take a long time. The 100,000 stud requirement is pretty easy though. Did I mention that no cheats can be turned on? Super Story is easily the worst part of replaying this each year because you have to do 6 of them if you want to get 100%. We can't not get that 100% each time though. You know what I mean? On our most recent run, we were doing episode 5 Super Story when the final level glitched out on us. An elevator wouldn't work and we couldn't complete the level. We wasted those precious 40 plus minutes, man. The general gameplay really just consists of collecting things, if that hasn't been abundantly clear already. There are some basic puzzle elements, sure, but just playing as LEGO characters and reaching the end of the level is mostly what is going on here. It is designed to be a game where one doesn't really need to learn anything to play it. Anyone can pick up a controller and play the game just fine. Seeing how this is a LEGO brand game, it just makes sense. At least in my mind, this is an all ages kind of game. Older players that don't have nostalgia for it probably won't get too much out of it, but I do like to have that turn my brain off games in my library. If I wanted a Thinky Man's game, I could pop in Heroes of Might and Magic 3. There really isn't much depth here, but I kinda like that. This is about pure fun and collecting everything. Now is a good time to lay down some negatives on the game, if that Super Story rant wasn't enough for you. If one is a completionist nerd like me, let me tell you, 100%ing this game drags pretty hard. One will have to do most of the main 36 levels 4 times. Once in story, once in free play, once in challenge with the blue mini kits, and finally once in Super Story. I love the little cutscenes as they're filled with charm and humor, but there is no way to skip them. The cutscenes need to be seen for Super Story and, regular story, and they take a whopping 2 hours of the game time, because, they're about 1 hour total, but you're gonna do it twice. After playing this annually for the past few years, they're still cute, sure, but they can get repetitive. Not to mention, as this is a compilation game, there are some out there who probably already played both of the original game's cutscenes and just want to breeze through it. The compilation game, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Complete Edition, also had this problem. Even if one isn't a completionist, I'd still say there are a couple things to dog on. The first would be the simple fact that this is still a compilation game. It's nice if one hasn't played either of the original LEGO Star Wars games, but if one has played both, they already have played of most of what is in this package. It really only adds the blue mini-kit missions, a handful of characters, 16 power bricks, and a couple of levels. Of course, if one is a complete newcomer, this is a little non-issue, but I personally played the shit out of LEGO Star Wars 1 and 2 when I was younger, so I was hoping that there would be a bit more new content in this package. Another bummer is the fact that the extra toggle characters can't be bought. I guess this would make them special, sure, but characters like Mouse Droid and Swamp Rat, they're just so cool, and they would be genuinely useful in basically every level. It also kind of blows that one can't pick their entire team in free play. Like, what if I specifically want Droideka for its speed, Jango Fett for his flying abilities, Ghost Anakin for his invincibility, and General Grievous because he's a badass? My brother and I can pick one each, but after that, it's a toss-up to see if the game grants them the characters they actually want to play as for the level. It is true that this can be remedied by buying only characters that the player likes, as the game gives the player at least one character in every group and every free play level, but that is such a lame workaround. The last thing I'll take a dig at are the ship levels. Some like Anakin's Pod Racing and Rebel Attack are great levels. I like them, and good additions to the game. Some like Bounty Hunter Pursuit and Falcon Flight are simply not fun. These are even less fun during the challenge segments where cheap bricks are disabled. A couple more things to wrap up before we're done here. The first is the character creator. This was so much fun when I was younger. I loved making a Dark Force Jedi with a Bounty Hunter hat. That way they can use the Dark Force, throw bombs, and work Bounty Hunter panels. Pretty OP, right? The Xbox 360 and PS3 versions support online play, which I think is super neat. Too bad I have no friends to play with. There's also an arcade mode, which just results in both players trying to kill each other. It doesn't add too much to me personally, but it may be a fun throwaway for some of you out there. Before we're done here, I got one more thing for you. The stupid extra jump glitch. It's so easy to do and it's very beneficial. To do it, one has to pick a Jedi or another character with a melee item, to do a double jump, then to hit the attack button. When this action is formed, the character will do a Jedi Slam, where they bash their lightsaber to the ground. However, if one presses the trigger button to switch their character right after initiating the Jedi Slam in the air, the character will gain a lot of air when they switch. If it's episodes 1 through 3, this works wonderfully with General Grievous because he retains his high jumping ability from the first game. My brother and I love this glitch so much and we perform it hundreds of times per playthrough. This must be done in either free play or challenge, as changing characters is required. So, that is LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. It's a package that is chock full of cuteness, fun, and collectibles. It will always hold a special place in my heart. The game is incredible in multiplayer too. The basic gameplay of collecting things is just so much fun to me. I've always been a fan of collectathons, like the amazing Banjo-Kazooie games. It's satisfying to get that percentage to 100%, even if there's some tedious bullshit in there. I've replayed this game far too many times, and I'll probably come back for many more. LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga gets a 7 out of 7 from me. This is a bona fide classic in my mind.